Okay. So there's a 5-minute delay. Oh, we're already in. So I'll say the bottom left team. This is Eclipsis. We have Luigi.
Game paused.
We have a pause. Okay, well, we have Luigi. Looks like he's going range. Oh, there's a remake? Picked up. Yeah. They can remake. They get a remake, I think.
Oh, yep, remake. Here it goes.
Okay.
That'll be okay, I guess. Probably picked the wrong ups or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm joining in now. You versus TLOS.
That's right. That's how it's gonna be.
You got this, man.
Half tempted to try to drag in Kent, but I don't want to slow up the remake process.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it looks like ECL's pulling the old turtle move here. You know what I actually find funny is that I hadn't really seen Luigi or most of the ECL other than, QQQ and Shapig. I haven't really seen them around, and they kind of just, came out of the blue back for the tourney.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, they're going to the other lobby. Okay. Yeah, let's see. They're probably just gonna start. Yeah. Alright. TLOS ready. ECL ready. I imagine there will be a countdown. Now.
There's the countdown right there.
I didn't actually catch the reason that TLOS remade. I'm guessing...
I'm guessing that one of them misclicked the upgrades, I believe.
or something, I don't know.
I feel like that's the only reason there would have been a remake or, wrong ship or something of that nature.
And I know that every team gets one remake, I'm pretty sure. I read that somewhere in the rules. Let's see, are we still... is this still Eclipsis? No,
ECL's at top right.
Yeah, this is now the League of Shadows on bottom. Okay, on the League of Shadows for bottom, we got Destroyer X going top with 5 Gats. War going mid with 5 Gats. Overlord going Plague. Thunder Overlord going Plague. Pronexus going Imp. And actually Zorba going Blink 2 Phase Disruptors. What do we got for Eclipsis?
Okay, for Eclipsis, we got Luigi with speed range 1 Broodling. We have the Desi with, looks like speed and...
Hull.
a lot of energy. Oh yeah, hull upgrade, okay.
Yeah, wait. Well, that is kind of odd. Why does he have 300 energy?
Yeah, 300 energy.
Did he miss-click? I don't know.
Okay, and then we have Eddie with speed, range, missile. We have Shapig with feedback, speed. And then QQQ on the Ovi with Plague. And then we have War Alistair with 0 ints and Barrage.
Yep, that barrage carrier. I've seen it. It's pretty scary sometimes.
Yeah, it can do some damage, but as long as you keep the sight on a ship... oh, some decent damage going down on War here.
So, I'm not sure about the opening, but I feel like Eclipsis has a very late game oriented comp. Both teams are actually pretty late game oriented.
Yeah, absolutely. With the double Desi, I feel like they have a better push, but it seems like with there's that barrage coming into play.
Mm-hmm.
But
Getting some.
it seems like actually ECL's getting the push here. I would have
Yeah.
thought the double Desi would have had the push in the beginning, but I guess with the void around the side, it's not too good there.
And the carrier seems like it should be. I mean, it has the barrage, and that's 2,700 damage. And so on these dreadnoughts, if they don't have the hull up yet, and neither of them do, that's just straight damage on them, which is hard to deal with.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no Raven for Eclipsis. That's an interesting choice to me.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard too late game with that Void Ray. You know, it's going to come in hard on that Arbiter with the obs, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be big on Eddie for the lockdowns.
Oh,
And
definitely.
that's
Yeah.
really it's Eddie with lockdown is their main denial. And he cannot do anything to the Overlord, so the 100%... No, hold on. They have QQQ for Siphon.
They have the siphon, they have the lockdown, and then they have a feedback.
Yeah.
But really, the biggest, you know, to actually detect the cloaked void ray. I mean,
Why is
the
Pronexus
OBS.
stalled? What is going on?
Oh, uh-oh.
That was odd.
Yeah, that was odd. I think what it is it's
Wait, are they...
Oh, here we go. Zorba better back out.
Zorba, what are you doing?
Zorba's in trouble.
And well, now the Void will be fine. Now it's the double dread. Will they actually extract perfectly with the
Oh,
barrage?
they should be fine.
Oh, if Ward stayed any longer, it might have
Oh
been
yeah,
really tight.
definitely. Yeah, he could have been in some trouble. But I felt like I feel like they took a little bit too much damage. I feel like for that push. Now they're all hurting. They can't really stay. They should be afraid of that warp trick.
I
Not
don't think
saying
they wanted to stay here anyway. But really,
Yeah.
you don't want to stay too long for this first out. It's really dangerous because the other team gets their 4-minute ups, and they can come back and get a kill, and you just don't really have a lot of counterplay before you get any upgrades.
Right, definitely. And also, I mean, at 6 minutes you do get your siege, so I believe, you know, that's a better time to push back out, and you have that, you know, that extra damage with your siege.
Alright, so what are we coming out with? We got Ice coming out with bots and just 1 GAT. Eddie coming out with 4 laser and scan. 4 laser seems interesting. Alistair,
That's weird.
Alistair coming out with ranged laser, so definitely going a very barrage-oriented carrier, not really planning to really transition it in anytime soon. And Luigi with actually Scourge and Adrenal.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Ooh.
No energy upgrade either, but that Adrenal gives you 200, so...
And actually QQQ has Siphon.
Yep, that'll help.
And Shuffit has Cloak.
Oh, very nice, very nice. That'll help with the plagues.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a big push, and they're going to get back some farm for Eclipsis here. But
I feel like the Dread, that original opening with the 300 energy with the hole, that was kind of a really weird opening, I believe.
especially because he still only has bots. He never picked up charge. It was
Yeah, so,
that was
I
a
mean,
weird opening.
Yeah, the energy really did nothing for him. I mean, that money was, you know, kind of wasted. He could have thrown it in his armor or anything else.
Yeah, I mean the only way, if it wasn't a misclick, which maybe it wasn't, it would be to bait imps to make them think you have charge, which doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense because they can just look and see the hull. I don't know. It seems odd to me.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Alright, so we have Destroyer coming out with 7 GATs. I think, actually, no, he had 7 GATs before, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think he had 3 GATs, and then he's got Warp, and then we have Poor Nexus with DMAT and the Imp. We have War with Warp, and 6 GATs, 2 lasers, 1 armor. Mito with Plague, 5 mutes, and then Zorba with Cloak and Blink, and 2 into his beam.
Yeah, no beam speed yet. And then Thunder's coming out with just mutas and more energy.
Some kind of weirder openings that I've seen out of these ships here.
This is an interesting game.
I can definitely see that Eclipses is going for that longer game, and I feel like the longer this game goes on, they are going to definitely have the better comp, I feel.
Yeah, with I mean, there's the 2 Overlords. That's a pretty late game. 2 Overlord Void Ray is a pretty late game oriented comp. I mean,
Definitely.
that's a
But I feel like,
lot of burst damage.
oh, definitely. But I feel like that cloak out of Shapig is going to come in. Oh, see, I already got an obs here out of Shapig. But I feel like that cloak is going to really stop the damage output from these 2 Ovies. You know, even though the game will go longer, I still feel like the sustainable damage that, you know, ECL can put out is going to be a lot more than what TLOS can put out.
Yeah,
Just so you know, if they transition into broods and temps and whatnot, you know.
yeah, they really don't have a lot of strong responses to Brood. It's the guard that could definitely become a problem. Really, their comp is based around taking out guard on his own, right, with the Void Ray and the Overlords to avoid the Broods and just to kill the
Right.
guard itself.
Absolutely.
Now, War Alistair will eventually pick up Vortex. You know, I think that's usually the follow-up to Barrage, right? Is that he
Yeah,
actually...
I would hope so.
I don't
Let's
really
see,
play
where's...
Barrage Carrier very often, so I don't...
No, I've never really seen it, to be honest.
I've seen it, but I haven't played it that much.
Right. Oh yeah, and also Zorba already has Chrono Rift to help with the Scourge.
Yeah, but I
He
mean,
does
it's like the carrier has to... Like, the Chrono Ripper is great for the carrier, too, if the carrier, you know, was going to get Incidol. But the carrier isn't going Inc. It's like the carrier has to stay on this energy build because it's unlikely he'll have any counterplay against the Void Ray. Void Ray did get parasited.
Yes, absolutely. I was actually going to say that. Yep, so no cloak for him. And I believe that's 4 minutes, I believe. Let's see what TLOS comes out with. Seems like Pornex is just coming out with more energy. Destroyer X with Protective Field.
Warren bots. Siphon
Yep.
on Mito.
Mito, yes.
And Thunder hasn't spent his money yet.
And then Zorba has 4 lasers, no beam speed, 2 beam, blink cloak, and chrono rift.
I kind of feel like Eclipses has a lot more options here.
Oh, absolutely. And like, you know, like I previously said, I feel like their late game is going to be a lot stronger. I feel like TLOS needs to make a move very, very soon, like before the 20-minute mark or 25-minute mark to get a kill. And I feel like they'll be in a way better position. And actually, Thunder coming out with a Side Blast, 1200 damage. Only 475 energy though, so there's not going to be many of those with no Siphon.
In this stage, before the protective field is consistent and no Colossus, there's not a lot of great ways to actually pick off those Tempests at this stage either. And I think that's kind of a sign that they'll have a hard time dealing with Tempest Broodlord later on.
Yeah, and especially the way those Broodlings scale, I mean, they start to do extreme amount of damage.
And I mean, this is Luigi on Guardian too, and I think
Oh yeah.
Luigi has been maining Guardian since, like, I don't know, before some of these people have been playing Star Battle.
Right. Yeah, and that's another thing too, you know, Eclipses has that, you know, they're very, very, very old clan, you know, so they've
Whoa,
been
what
around
is this
for
going
quite a
on?
while.
Hold on.
Oh, we got Zorba.
Yeah, Zorba went in hard, and he took a lot of aggression for it, but now and they can't really stay on QQQ very easily.
They might get Beggy. Here.
Beggy is
see what
taking
we
some
have.
damage, but
Nope,
they
he's
don't
got
have
Clove.
the imp up. Barrage is out.
Shapig's
Carrier
about to run out of
got
energy.
siphoned. Beggy, yeah, Arb is out of energy. Beggy has no protective field,
Beggy's in trouble
but
here.
they're having a hard time maintaining damage on him.
Pornex is in trouble too. Okay, okay.
And wow, that was a hot engagement.
Yeah, that was a good exchange. I mean, everyone was taking damage there. And I'll be honest. I mean, Luigi did a great job. He didn't attack the destroyers. You know, he went for the squishier ships like Pornex and Mito. You know.
think it's kind of interesting that Baggy Ice goes away from that and instantly gets 4 lasers. Like, yes.
I need to farm more.
8 mutas on QQQ. There's a lot of basically a strong transition into farming here. Chrono boost on the Arbiter. Luigi picks, starting Brood Lords, only level 2, but, he has the energy already set up. And
Oh,
Tempest's
absolutely.
coming for War Alistair, so no Vortex, 9 ends. He's actually transitioning into Tempest.
I think what their original, I think their original plan was to try to maybe pick off a ship early game with that barrage and maybe the push from the Desi. Not knowing why he picked up the 300 energy still is a mystery to me, but I believe that's what the barrage was for, and just to help the disengage.
Yeah, the barrage is a pretty solid opening for Carrier, even for a transition, right? Because it gives you that early game stability where one of the things that Carrier can struggle with a lot of the time is dealing damage in these early game combat where, it can feel like you're just down a ship if Carrier goes straight ints at the very beginning.
Right, absolutely. It's almost like supporting a Void Ray, until they get up to actual kill status.
Yeah.
I mean, I would almost say that their comps are closely matched, but I still feel, the stronger late game coming out, as we can see now with all the Broods and the Temps.
Yeah, Broods and Tempest it's transitioning into a very early end game here, I guess you could say.
Yeah, early late game.
They don't want to spend too much time doing hot engagements. They're going to get to the point where they just can siege so hard with the Brood Lords and the Tempest that it's hard for the other team to just push out, and they have to commit at some point.
Right, absolutely. So now we have Beggy coming out with charges, protective field, and bots with 8 gats. 1.71 speed, 4 armor, 1 shield, and 4 lasers. Luigi coming out with Adrenal Overload, Parasite Scourge, and the Broodlings.
It's up to
Still
550 energy, yeah.
Yeah, still 2 on the Broodlings, though. That's
Level
went into
7 temps.
Those will do some damage, 280. With 9 ints. Still no VTEX, he had the Warpin.
Mm-hmm.
We have QQQ with 8 mutes, 4 lasers, 3 armor, and 625 energy. Very nice. He could definitely start putting out some damage.
Ooh, Thunder is taking some damage. Baggy, I think QQQ is, yeah, he has to get the DMAT up because QQQ is in range for Side Blast.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, QQQ was kind of, he was kind of pushing that. I mean, he definitely had some damage on himself there. But see, I think that's where the wisdom comes in from ECL. They've played these ships, they've mastered them, in so many different ways. They know the amount of damage they can take. They see what's coming at them, and they can correct it in seconds.
Yep. I think it's also interesting that there's no Raven, and the BC is scanning, so that's really their main form of avoiding warp tricks. So even though there isn't the Raven with the radar, they still are not going to get warp tricked very easily. Zorba's going out again, going for...
Here he goes.
I think this is the warp trick.
They're gonna warp on him.
This is beautiful. Extremely risky, but beautiful.
This.
Dreads first, and they want this Arbiter.
They're going for the RB.
Arbiter is gonna get roasted here, I think.
Oh, but Destroyer X is gonna die.
War is still on. Oh my goodness, I can't. It's splitting my screen. The Arbiter dies. Zorba is low energy.
Yeah. Oh.
Thunder is taking Gats. Zorba is 1,700 life. Destroyer X. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. War needs to get out of there.
Destroyer X is 1,000 life. War is 4,000. Baggy Ice is 480.
Oh,
Destroyer X goes down. Scourges.
Wow.
Chrono Rift.
I would say that's a great trade.
That's a fantastic trade. I mean,
yeah, they lost to Desi, but they took out their cloak. They took out everything.
It's going to be a lot harder. I mean, they took out 1/3 of the denial, so it's going to be a lot easier for the Void Ray to do work.
Absolutely.
Where is the? Do you see the observer? The observer is still alive, right?
Yep, the OBS is by their cloud right now on
Uh,
Zorba.
on Zorba. Ah, there it is. Yeah.
Yep, there he is. At least at least your pig still has something to do.
Yeah. Now he is an observer. He's not in
He's
an observer slot in the game, but he's an observer.
absolutely. He is the OP observer now. I want to see if I can get maybe we can see a sick game sense out of Pornex maybe, and maybe see if there's a OBS flying around.
Yeah, and Spotter eventually will come out. I think it's way too early to think a Spotter will come out. But between the two overlords, there's a lot of detection possibility.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, QQQ has spotter now with Siphon. Did he have it before they backed? I don't believe that he did.
Alistair's up to 13 ints. QQQ did pick up Spotter. Psyblast is 2255. Baggy Ice 8 Gats, 4 armor.
Luigi now with 9 broodlings. That'll hurt. Yep, Beggy's still at 4 armor.
Those Psyblasts. Did War get locked? No, War's not locked in.
Yeah, Thunders does 1600 and Meadows does 1500. Those are gonna hurt.
Protective Field is up. Says they took the cloud now, so I think League of Shadows is gonna have to back off for the moment.
Yeah, they're gonna have to definitely push out as quick as they can though. These towers are gonna be in danger here.
Yep. 6 Tempests working the bottom tower. No Broodlords yet. Broodlords were going top. Yeah, Luigi, I think, didn't read the Tempest.
He's a little low on health, so he can't Adrenal Overload at this time. Still doesn't have Dark Swarm. That amazes me. Because it actually heals you.
Yeah, it was significantly buffed, like, what, 4 months ago? Something like that?
Yep. If you actually cast it right on top of your ship, it gives you a crazy health regen.
And this is where, they can do the plagues, but it's hard to kind of push into these Broodlords at this point. Broodlords are now high enough that they hurt. Especially Overlords.
Yeah, 56 damage, and each of them I think shoot out, 3-4 broodlings at a time, so.
Oh, they shoot out. Yeah, each Broodlord shoots out 2 broodlings.
Right, yeah, and then when they die, they shoot them more, and yeah.
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot of DPS per second.
Observer is going to
hanging out in the cloud.
Yeah, it doesn't want to be right on top of the Void Ray just in case they poop out a spotter. And yeah, Fender does now have a spotter. They want to be hunting that Overlord. I'm sorry, that game Observer.
Yep, so you see him, he backs off, he stays in the cloud there. What a great warp trick. I think it was Aces High that actually used that. It was either Aces High or Red Alert that actually used that actual warp trick where you warp on the cloaked Void Ray. Pretty ballsy move, but it definitely came in clutch there.
Farm is not terribly equal on both teams. QQQ is way ahead than really anyone else on the map.
Oh, absolutely. Well, with those 11 mutts, he's one-shotting farm. So at this point, there's nothing that can really deny that other than the other OVs, which Mita only has 6, and Thunder only has 7. So I mean, his mutts can basically take out both of theirs together combined.
I think it's interesting that Zorba got 6 phase disruptors for the Nova. I guess he's really he sees himself, I think, as one of the things dealing with the Broodlords and Tempests. Oh, and the Interceptors, which are also now level 16.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because he can cloak and he can go in there and he can clean it up, do what he can. And the faster you kill him, the less chance of you getting spotted, siphoned, locked down, things of that nature.
He's not. I feel like he's not using the Nova very much against the Interceptors, though. Seems.
Right, and he can also use them against the broodlings too. It'll slow the broodlings down from landing on the ships. I really have only seen him use it about twice. Oh, looks like
Oh,
this
this
might
tower
fall.
is getting beat up.
Looks like they'll end up saving it at 4K life there.
Yeah. Mito has picked up Contaminate. War is still on 1 armor, 0 shields. He's really just Protective Field and bots for pretty much all of his sustain.
See, and actually I was talking with a few of the, the in-house players about the Desi, and, a lot of players fail to realize that the Desi actually has a ton of armor. Like, even in that one upgrade, I think the Desi starts at about 6 or 7 armor, I believe. I think the upgrade gives you like seven armor, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but a lot of players fail to, up the armor on the actual Desi, and they count on that protective field, and that can actually come in to bite you in the butt later.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially against Broodlords. I mean, this is a situation where you got to think very carefully about how you get your sustain going. All right, we have a
Absolutely.
slight warping on ice. I don't think this is really a trick. This is just a warp in, trying to get back on the farm.
Yeah, they're getting positioning with those Broodlords. Scare them back. They're all bunched up in the side with the temps coming down the mid, so they have a great push from that very strong push from the right side.
Pronexus is still on just 1 shield, and so QQQ Side Blast's really just, he's
Oh,
basic.
wow.
At any given time, he's 4 Side Blasts from killing the Raven. So,
Oh, nice. Pornex actually picked up Irradiate. That's a great thing to use against the Broodlings. Cast it on your own ships, and it actually kills the Broodlings off.
Gotta be careful though, because it does prevent regeneration on your Overlords if they are near the Dread, but generally it's worth it.
Yep. Thunder taking a little damage there on his way back to base. They're really trying to protect this tower. I believe is going to fall. I don't think War can stay out there much longer.
Yeah, it was hold before. It's now lost 3,000 of the shields. War, really, I mean, he has to maintain constant protective field and bots to stay here. And,
yeah, exactly. He has no sustain without his protective
every
field.
time he gets siphoned, I mean, that's a really big loss in terms of his sustain at this point.
And see, another thing, you got to think about is like, it's to be honest, it's kind of a waste to waste all that money with that many denies on their side. The LD and the Siphon, the Desi doesn't really have any energy at any given time. Oh, now he does actually.
Yeah,
grab
he's coming up with
armor.
6 armor now.
But at any given time, if he doesn't have that protective field up, he's not tanking anymore. He can't take any more damage. So I mean, it's kind of a waste of money at that point.
And this is really exactly what the League of Shadows doesn't want to be dealing with. This is why they did that big warp trick, but it's hard for them to even get into a position where they can try to do a warp trick when their ships are so constantly low trying to hold this tower, and it's like the siege just isn't stopping. But Zorba is getting set up for something now. He's threatening the warp trick, so they have to respond. They're all warping out, actually. They're like, nah, we don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, we do not want to deal with this Void Ray right now. He might actually go... He cannot take that tower.
No, he was setting up... The threat was the warp trick. I don't think they're at all worried he's going to try to solo the tower. Not at 12 beam. Man, he doesn't have double charge yet, I don't think.
I don't believe... See, you can't tell. You can't, like...
No, you look at the cooldown amount. It's cooldown 15 right now, and it only lasts 8 seconds, so that's not double charge. He's gone a much more of a kind of control Void Ray rather than a double charge burst damage Void Ray.
Absolutely. And
Whoa,
like
what is this on War?
War Alistair.
War is siphoned, so... And they're splitting onto Mito. So they're pushing 2 ships at the same time, but War is very... War is... I think War has to be dead here.
He needs the... Oh.
Yeah.
See, now Zorba should have thrown that Chrono Rip to slow those ints down.
This is going to be very hot on all of them.
I'm feeling like now this is going to be a losing battle for him, unless Pornex can throw a crazy blackout.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the question here might start to become... I mean, looking at the farm difference, it's pretty massive. QQQ is well overfed, but Luigi and War Alistair are both extremely well fed as well. It's going to start to be really hard for the League of Shadows to get back into a winning position here. But I'm not sure that based on the spread of damage here, whether Eclipsis is going to be able to actually kill all the ships. It seems like there's a chance that they'll end up. Well, maybe. It seems like there's a chance they would end up killing the command center first.
Oh yeah, I feel like they're gonna take the command center before they're gonna go and try and kill the ships with the double side blast. That's way too much DPS to actually push right into. And to be honest, they have this game. So what would be the point of pushing in, maybe losing a ship when you can just sit back, let your siege take the command center,
What is Zorba is going on an adventure, and it looks like it might be a one-way trick. Yeah, he blinks.
No, he's gonna die from it, I believe.
Is this a one-way trip? It very
They're gonna
easily
have to
could
warp
be.
to him. They're gonna have to warp to him. He's gonna die. He's gonna get locked down. Oh, he might make it out. Nope, he's gonna
Why
die.
is he hasn't blinked yet? Oh, there's the blink. You'd think he would be faster with the blink. Now he's trying to warp out.
I don't know. Is he gonna make it? Is he
I
gonna
don't
make
think
it?
so.
He made it.
Oh, he made it. He stalled.
Right before the mutas hit him, man.
What an elaborate stall. Basically just a way to
Yeah.
save the second tower. That's the most indirect way to save the second tower.
Well, he did his job, I suppose. I mean, it would have went down definitely if they didn't back off. I mean, now what do you think that, TLOS has to do in this situation to try to come back from it?
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, Mito does not have Sonic Shockwave. Zorba still does not have Double Charge. Cornexus does have Blackout, and Thunder
He
does not
does.
have Sonic Shockwave, so what would they have to do? Blackout would have to be involved. Blackout on the carrier, I'm guessing. Maybe carrier and Dreadnought. And then focus both Overlords on QQQ. That would be how you'd have to get back in the game. But they'd probably end up losing something out of it. I don't know what.
Right. I was thinking something. I mean, if one of the Ovies had a shockwave, if they bunched up, around the siege, if they could, if Pornex could get in, get a nice blackout, and then one of the Ovies, get
Whoa,
dematted
Cornexus,
in.
what are you doing?
Wow, stalling.
That's the second time this game he stalled. I don't know if he's dealing with lag or what.
Well, I think there's actually a little bit of a glitch that if you're going in the opposite direction and try to turn around to EMP and it's right on the edge, sometimes your ship will actually stall out.
I think that they at this point cannot protect Pronexus. They might actually end up getting all the ships here if they kill the Raven first. But yeah, the big question is whether they can actually, like, I don't know. Zorba keeps wanting to threaten things, but Zorba can't do anything here. Oh yeah, see, Pronexus is going down,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that means Thunder's going to go down next. They're going to get all the ships.
and
Mito
Zorba's
is.
going for what is he going for? Is he going to try and take the CC here?
He
One
was.
last Hail
I
Mary.
think it's more that there's just nothing he can do. And back, so there's the GG. I think. Yeah, I think if you're Pronexus here, maybe I would play with just trying to see if you can keep your Overlords alive. But I don't think there's much of a chance now that the Raven's dead. I think everything's just gonna die.
Oh, even look at QQQ, playing around, trying
Yeah.
to shockwave his team into the base.
Oh, that was a good game. It was a beautiful warp trick in the middle of the game to get back in the game, and it seemed like it had the chance to really be a big turnaround. It didn't end up playing out that way for the League of Shadows, but they certainly created the opportunity. And
Absolutely. I feel like the actual, I think it was it Destroyer X? I think he got a little bit too cocky when he was on his way back. I feel like they could have saved both the Destros, but he actually did a turnaround, I believe, and that's why he died.
Yep. Well, GG. Thank you for commenting.
Up, GG.